Hi class, welcome to week 3 of Intro to Jazz, MUS-112. I hope that you've been able to figure out your week 2 assignments. Just to reiterate kind of the process that I take in grading and assigning things, I prepare your next week's work as your previous week is due. And so once your previous due, like for this week, week 2, once you start on week 3, then I go in and start looking at all your grades that were submitted for week 2 and start filling those in. If there are grades, questions that need to be answered manually because they're short answer, opinion kind of things, and I'm going to be grading those questions based on content. How well did you answer that question based on the information that you had at hand? So make sure that you take time to give a complete answer and just as much information as possible. I will give partial credit for those questions and those assignments. A lot of times if it's a harder assignment and I feel like, if you even attempted it, then you will get full credit. But as the semester progresses, I will get a little hard. I'll grade a little bit harder once you've begun to learn some things, and you should know how to express yourself after listening. Many things, like I'll say, well, what did you feel like, or what did you hear in this? And so people are going to hear different things, and so I'm not counting off for what you say, but make sure that everything you say in a question is accurate. And a lot of the songs that we're going to listen to they talk about it in your textbook. And so if there's something that you can't find, then look at your textbook and read about that song so that you may know a little bit more information. On your listening guides, my husband's trying to sneak around, not be seen. On your listening guides in your book, I've included one on your Ed Puzzle performance video. Make sure that you can look at those. I'll try to include them on a screen before you start listening to an Ed Puzzle video. And that way you're able to follow along with the listening guide, or at least go back and look at it if you need to. It's going to give you clues about the instrumentation, about the things going on during the song, and it's also going to give you like a timeline. Can't always make those recordings match up with the listening guides, but I do the best that I can to make that happen. So just to reiterate, your Connect assignments are synced from Connect to Moodle by me the week after something is graded and due. The Ed Puzzle does not have to be submitted through Moodle, and so you just have to complete it in Ed Puzzle. I go in and check Ed Puzzle, and then I transfer those grades to Moodle. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you have an assignment that is due on Moodle, I will tell you. And like you had one in week 1 that needed to be done in Moodle, and so I haven't gotten to that yet just because of everything else going on, trying to get students still registered for my MUS-110 class, and some of you are still trying to catch up and figure out how to maneuver and navigate through the course material. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to week 3 assignments on Moodle. And you can see these here. They will be due on Labor Day, and I know some of you don't work on Labor Day, and so you're going to be like maybe working on school. Some of you maybe have plans for Labor Day. Just so you know, turn everything in by Labor Day night at midnight, and that will count for week 3. Because my students walk all different kinds of lives. They work in nights, work in days, have kids, they're a full-time student, or a part-time student, or whatever. So I just give you a week to do all your work and just get it done by midnight of Labor Day. All right, so you're watching this video now. That's number 1. Good. And then you're going to go to your SmartBook reading assignment, which is listed below under Connect. And then that will be 25 points. Then you have one listening assignment we're going to talk about in a minute, where you listen to the song and then you answer questions about that song. And I'm hoping that it's there, because I don't know that even all of it's going to be there. I'm having a really hard time with this particular recording of this song. I can't even find it on YouTube. I can't get it linked from YouTube to Edpuzzle even, or to our tests or anything like that. So, all right. But hopefully I'll get you the right one. And then most of your points this week are going to be on Edpuzzle, and we'll talk about those in a minute. Make sure that you are aware that we have our first unit test. I will send you an email regarding how to review for that test by Wednesday afternoon and Thursday at the latest, because I have both classes having tests this week. So I will try to get that done by Wednesday night. All right, so in Connect, you need to make sure that you read these pages. Please make sure you do your reading first, and then your Learn Smart activity will go a whole lot faster. This week we're going to study about Chapter 2, Jazz Heritages. That just kind of gives you an idea where jazz came from and kind of its roots and the other things that have affected a jazz style. So we won't listen to a whole lot of music from the chapter this week. It's coming, but just this kind of laying some groundwork for the roots of jazz. And then we're going to listen to a song called Juliana Johnson. And then there's a short answer short question you need to answer. It has a short answer to it. So that is going to be graded next week after you turn it in. Remember, you don't have to check anything off in Moodle. This is just for your benefit. You don't have to submit anything or check off anything in Moodle. It is just for you. This is where you can find all your assignments, but it's not something you have to submit stuff to. And I know that's different than a lot of your classes. And then go back to your Learn Smart activity in Chapter 1 to help you review for the test. Also, the things that we studied in week 1, go back and review those to help you. Your test opens on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Please make note of this password. Your test password is lowercase Nash Online. You won't be able to get into the test without this password. This is really important. Do not stop or pause while attempting to take your test. The test is timed, the questions are scrambled, and so your timer will run out and you will be locked out. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time, that you're not interrupting. Do not stop and save. Do not pause and save. Even if it gives you an option, do not do that, because when you come back, your timer will be gone and your test will be over. Okay. Some of you are going to call me and you're going to email me and you're going to be panicked because you saved and stopped and all that. It's just no such thing. I don't know why that setting's there, but just ignore it. All right, and then you have 12 minutes of video on Edpuzzle. It's going to take you longer to answer the question, but this is how long the videos take. All right, now harmony is our next section. We've done melody and rhythm. I think you did rhythm last week. And so harmony is our next section. This is from the same series. Here are your 2 links for Edpuzzle and Connect if you need them. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to chapter week 3. These are visible to you, so let me go to student view. Hello. Sleepy like me. All right. It's not visible yet. I guess because it hasn't opened yet. I'm going to try this again. Nope. Okay. Probably because it hasn't opened yet, but it is. Oh, it's not visible. I thought I had made those visible. All right, I'm going to go and take these off. I'm going to take that one off yet. Okay. So I'm going to go and preview this because this is what it should look like for you. You should have something. Oh, and by the way, if you have trouble with Connect, please use Firefox browser. It works pretty well for me for Chrome browser, but if you're having trouble, then I need you to use Firefox. And you need to have a quick enough Wi-Fi speed to be able to play videos. So get your computers cleaned up if you're having trouble. All right, so it should have something like this. I'm going to push play. And I think it's going to take me to Spotify. So I'm going to go in with Facebook. And then you're going to have a list like this. So scroll down. You're looking for Juliana Johnson. Okay? Just like that. If it takes you to a list like this, you've got to search for it because it's on Spotify. And you guys can do that. This is kind of what it should sound like. Now I'm going to warn you right now, the book listening guide it gives you 3 minutes and 41 seconds or something of this. In Spotify, we are only able to get it 1 minute and 9 seconds. So your listening guide isn't going to exactly match up with the recording. But you can get a feel for it and you can kind of understand what's going on in the song. It is a work song. And so it helps them to stay together out in the field as they were working and hammering and whatever they were doing, building roads or whatever they were doing. So, and then you have to go back to this question. Go to 2. This is not a recording of the whole song as indicated on page 31 of your text. This is where you have to answer these questions. What do you think you would hear if the song had continued to the end? Can you tell a difference in the speed of the tempo from the beginning to the end of the excerpt you listen to? And how does the text determine the mood and speed of the song? Okay, all of that together equals 10 points of homework. And so I will grade all that short answer next week. So you have to go to Spotify, listen, and then you have to come back to McGraw-Hill, answer. Hope that makes sense. All right. This is also where your test will be as well. In Edpuzzle, let's just take a really quick look. These are the things that are still open from last week. So if you ever see something like this, like from week 1, I had to put this up for another student. Just ignore it if you know that you've already completed it. Week 3 assignments are under upcoming. You're going to look at the due dates over here. Here's your harmony video. Here are the other 4 videos that are listed, and they will be active once you're getting into them. The ones that are listed, in your week 3 Moodle assignments. I hope all this makes sense. And so when you go to week 3 videos, it's going to list those out. Creole bells, dry bones, when the saints go marching in, Lord, don't move the mountain. There are questions in all of those Edpuzzle things. Once you open them, there will be questions. Make sure you answer them all. Let me know if you have any conflicts or questions this week. Hope you have a great time listening. Have a good week.